organic, unpredictable, unknown, lovely, beautiful, a sense of fulfillment. This is part of the pleasures of life and not the chores of life.
Coming up on Daily Iowan TV, Republican presidential hopefuls debated in Des Moines this weekend. Hear what the candidates had to say.
And the ukulele group of Johnson County met today. Learn what draws this unique group to learn ukulele.
And the Iowa men's basketball team has lost 2 straight against Iowa State. In sports, see if they can break the streak in Ames.
All that and more is coming your way next.
Daily Iowan TV starts now. Thanks for tuning into your Sunday edition of Daily Iowan TV, your television news, sports, and weather source for the Daily Iowan. I'm Josh Bolander.
And I'm Emily Bussey. Republican presidential hopefuls converged on Drake University Saturday evening for ABC's presidential debate. DITV's Reed Chandler was in Des Moines for a closer look.
In 23 days, Iowans will trek through rain, sleet, or snow to cast their vote on who they think should represent the Republican Party in the 2012 presidential election. Amongst Republican caucus goers, one objective remains supreme: beat Obama. But in the past 4 months, those wishing to get Iowa's seal of approval have been campaigning all across the Hawkeye State, and on Saturday night in Des Moines at Drake University, ABC News held their first Republican debate. Candidates seemed to make their closing statements to Iowa caucus goers, and most candidates went on the offense on Gingrich. Michelle Bachmann even tried to appeal to the true conservative base by suggesting Mitt Romney and Gingrich were one and the same.
If you look at Newt Romney, they were for cap and trade. If you look at Newt Romney, they were for the illegal immigration problem. And if you look at Newt Romney, they were for the $700 billion bailout. And you just heard Newt Romney is also with Obama on the issue of the payroll extension.
And later, Romney attacked Gingrich for calling Palestine an invented nation during an interview on Friday, but the former Speaker of the House stood by his controversial remarks.
Somebody ought to have the courage to tell the truth. These people are terrorists. They teach terrorism in their schools. They have textbooks that say if there are 13 Jews and 9 Jews are killed, how many Jews are left? We pay for those textbooks through our aid money. It's fundamentally time for somebody to have the guts to stand up and say, enough lying about the Middle East.
With a long list of candidates for voters to choose from, who has a real shot of winning Iowa? According to the latest New York Times CBS poll, Gingrich is in the lead with 31% of the voters, with Romney trailing second with 17%, and Paul only 1 point behind him. The rest of the candidates sink from there, with Perry at 11, Bachmann at 9, Santorum at 4, and Huntsman, who was not at the debate, with 1%. Plenty of politicians made their case for their endorsed candidates Saturday night after the debate as well.
Romney won, for sure. And it once again showed that he's the most steady debater, and that's going to be a really important characteristic if we're going to take on and defeat Barack Obama.
I think he didn't do anything that slowed him down. So I think he did a great job of responding to all the questions.
I think it was a good, frank, open discussion, and I would just encourage people to get out, participate in the caucuses, and let the people of Iowa decide who they think the strongest candidate for the Republican Party is to restore America.
During this campaign, candidates have seen their rise and fall here in the state of Iowa, from the Iowa straw poll in August to the caucuses in January. And after the third of the new year, the spotlight will move on, likely taking the winner along with it. Reporting from the ABC debate here in Des Moines, I'm Reed Chandler, Daily Iowan TV.
And a couple of the candidates will be visiting Johnson County this coming week, including Newt Gingrich, who will visit the UI campus at 1 p.m. Wednesday.
And former Pennsylvania Senator Rick Santorum stopped in Coralville earlier today to speak at the Tabernacle Baptist Church. Santorum focused on his staunch pro-life stance, saying he will cut federal funding to places that perform abortions, like Planned Parenthood. During his time as a senator, Santorum wrote legislation banning partial birth abortion and led the passing of the Born Alive Infant Protection Act and the Unborn Victims of Violence Act. Read tomorrow's Daily Iowan to find out what local feminist groups had to say about Santorum's speech.
And the Iowa City Public Library got a little taste of paradise on Sunday afternoon. Daily Iowan TV's Christina Targos gives us a listen-in on a unique ukulele group.
This was the sweet sound of Christmas carols on the ukulele that rang through Meeting Room B of the Iowa City Public Library on Sunday afternoon, where the Ukulele Club of Johnson County decided to get festive. However, they don't always play Christmas music because this group meets once a month, the second Sunday of the month, throughout the entire year. It started with Russ Schromers, his wife Roxanne, and their friend Mike Burt about 6 years ago. At first, it was just the three, but once they recruited members and got the word out about the group, it began to grow. Currently, they have about 12 to 18 members and play mainly 20s and 30s type songs. They welcome all kinds of skill levels from beginning to advanced.
We have beginners and up to a little more advanced players. We try to pick a range of songs from simpler to also more advanced things so that everybody can have something that they would enjoy playing.
Because it is a fairly easy instrument to learn, all ages are welcome. There is also a beginner group that meets once a week with Fired Up Iowa City. Who would have thought there were so many opportunities to play the ukulele right here in Iowa City? Christina Targos, Daily Iowan TV.
And anyone can join the group if interested, as it's open to members of all ages and all skill levels.
Starting next year, scooter and moped motorists in Iowa City will face fines if they park their vehicle in city bike racks. A new city ordinance set to take effect January 3rd will outlaw parking in bike racks, but officials said they will issue only warnings for an extended period of time. Authorities said parking mopeds in bike racks is a safety hazard in such high pedestrian traffic areas. To prepare for the new city ordinance, city officials made 142 stalls available on city property for scooters and mopeds to park.
And still more to come from Daily Iowan TV. Returning veterans face limited job opportunities back home. Find out why some employers are hesitant to hire veterans.
Plus, see who will receive the Freshman of the Year honors for Daily Iowan TV Sports Semester Awards.
All of this and more to come, but first let's take a look at our local weather forecast with Adam Sullivan.
Thanks, Emily. It looks like your finals week will be a little warmer than last week, but look out for some rain. It will be just below freezing Monday morning, but will warm up to the mid-30s by Monday afternoon and finally cool off to 33 degrees by the time the sun goes down. And let's take a look at the rest of the week. Highs will stay around 40 degrees through Tuesday with a 40% chance of rain and drizzle. On Wednesday, temperatures are expected to peak at a high of 46 degrees, but that's coupled with a 70% chance of more rain. Thursday night, it will dip down to a low of 22 degrees, and finally, we'll start seeing some clear skies. And once we get all of those tests out of the way on Friday, we'll see mostly sunny skies with a high around 31 degrees. Saturday will stay sunny with a high of 32. That's what you can expect for your weather this week. Back to you guys in the studio.
The UI is once again planning to use the eco-friendly sugar beet juice to help de-ice the campus this year. Officials began using this unique de-icer last year and said it was successful in reducing salt and sand usage and minimizing damage to grass. Iowa City uses a similar product, GeoMelt, which can reduce salt use by 30%, officials say. The city signed a contract to use 3,000 tons this winter. Both the UI and Iowa City officials said these alternatives to sand and salt are more environmentally friendly.
More and more veterans are returning home from Iraq and Afghanistan, but many face a new battle when they arrive, finding a job. 11.5% of veterans serving after 9/11 were unemployed last year, according to the Department of Labor. That number is about 50% higher than veterans of the first Gulf War. According to organizations working to help vets get jobs, there is less government assistance available today. Also, some employers consider veterans a liability if they were to develop post-traumatic stress disorder. Female veterans face even higher unemployment rates, as nearly 19% of post-9/11 female veterans were unemployed in November.
And UI officials say study space for finals will be tight this semester, but they've already begun planning ways to fix that for next spring. Administrators said they will look to increase space in the IMU for next semester, and while library officials and students say there's a lack of seating in the main library, the upcoming $14.5 million renovation set to be complete in fall 2013 should solve that problem. Read tomorrow's pages of the Daily Iowan to hear what students had to say about cramped study spaces.
Iowa City Police took to some early Christmas shopping today as they participated in the annual Shop with a Cop event to benefit local underprivileged kids. Police officers shop with low-income children at Walmart, as well as kids who have experienced a traumatic event in the past year. Donations from the community funded the shopping trip. In addition to the shopping, the event is also meant to introduce kids to police officers in a less threatening light.
And 2 men were arrested early Saturday morning after allegedly assaulting another man downtown. According to police reports, 22-year-old Francisco Vasquez and 18-year-old Michael Henkel, both of Davenport, reportedly stomped on and beat the alleged victim until he required medical attention for life-threatening injuries. The co-defendants were accused of willful injury causing serious injury, a Class C felony.
And now we'll go to DITV Sports' Nick Robertson for the latest on Hawkeye athletics.
Thanks, guys. Breaking news coming out of the Iowa Hawkeye football team tonight. Longtime defensive coordinator Norm Parker has officially announced his retirement. Parker, who is about to finish up his 13th season for the Hawkeyes, announced on Sunday that he will retire after the Insight Bowl on December 30th. Parker has been coaching for college football for 43 years, starting at Eastern Michigan in 1968. He also made stops at Wake Forest, Minnesota, Illinois, Eastern Carolina, Michigan State, and Vanderbilt before ending his career here in Iowa as defensive coordinator. So far, there has been no announcement on who will be replacing Parker for next season. But for more information about Coach Parker and his retirement, tune into Daily Iowan TV Sports' Bowl pregame show on Thursday. And in basketball, the Iowa Corn Growers Cyhawk Series continued on Friday as the Hawkeyes men's basketball team went to Ames to take on Fred Hoiberg and the Iowa State Cyclones. Daily Iowan TV Sports' Allie Holtkamp was at the game.
Hilton Coliseum in Ames was packed in crimson Friday night as the Iowa Hawkeyes took on in-state rival Iowa State in the annual Cyhawk Series. Devin Marble gets Iowa on board first with a driving jumper in the lane, and next possession, Zach McCabe's turnaround jumper off the pass from Eric May gives the Hawks a 4-0 lead. A couple of Royce White dunks and a jumper later puts the Cyclones up 6-4, and they never looked back. Later in the first half, Boo Paulo's three puts Iowa State in double digits, and a layup by Paulo on the Cyclones' last possession of the first half puts them up by 23. Second half, the Hawkeyes allowed Iowa State to just 6 points in the first 5 minutes, and Iowa slowly cut down Iowa State's lead with Devin Marble's solid free throw shooting and a 3 by Matt Gatens. The Black and Gold cut the lead to 13 on a 3 by Eric May off the steal from Aaron White, and a 3-pointer by Josh Oglesby and a jumper plus a foul cut Iowa's lead to single digits for the first time since the first half with just under a minute to go. But the Cyclones were able to hold off the Hawkeyes for their third straight win over their in-state rivals.
Hopefully we will have a great rivalry for years to come. But you look at that recruiting class he's brought in. I'm very pleased with our recruiting class, and it's exciting. It's exciting for the fans in Iowa City and in Ames to have great rivalries like this. And we see it in football, we see it in every sport, and it's a fun thing to be a part of.
Iowa is 0-2 in the in-state rivalry series, and they'll have one last chance for a strike next Saturday. From Hilton Coliseum, I'm Allie Holcomb, Daily Iowan TV.
And here's the official box score. Devin Marble had 21 points on the night. He also led the team with 5 assists. This was Marble's second start of the year at point guard, with Bryce Cartwright out with a hamstring injury. The men's basketball team is back in action on Saturday against in-state rival Drake. Well, the semester is almost over, and that means it's time for Daily Iowan TV Sports' awards. Our first winner goes to top freshman of the fall semester, and without a doubt, we give that to Alex Lovell from the volleyball team. Daily Iowan TV's Annie Stokowski caught up with the freshman to dig deeper into her success.
Freshman volleyball player Alex Lovell had a killer season, literally. Lovell recorded an impressive 312 kills for the Hawkeyes this year, which is the most for any freshman since 2005.
Now, Lovell was a highly under-recruited player in the Big Ten and says she was surprised when the Iowa coaches got in contact with her. But 2 weeks and a visit to campus later, she was officially on her way to becoming a Hawkeye.
I think I'm a looser player. I definitely cheer a lot when we get a point and excited for the littlest things. I'm a little obnoxious sometimes, but just to increase the momentum and energy on the court, it's really important for our team. For next year, I think we can definitely reach that 500 mark in the conference. The last half of this season, we really stepped it up and were able to compete with some of the best teams. So next year, I think we'll really be able to get there.
Lovell has had a fantastic freshman year, providing the team with both offensive and defensive stats with 312 kills and 160 digs. And be sure to tune in all week as we hand out more awards for this semester's top performers. And trust me, guys, we've had a lot of great performers this year, so you definitely won't want to miss them.
Thanks, Nick. And only with Daily Iowan TV can you get a sneak peek at Monday's pages of the Daily Iowan. Check out the Daily Iowan special Iowa Caucus section tomorrow, a guide exploring the candidates and issues. Plus, read about a graduating UI senior's passion for teaching as the Daily Iowan begins a week-long series profiling students graduating this semester.
And before we go, here's one last look at Monday's weather forecast. You can expect cloudy skies tomorrow with a high near 38 degrees and a 40% chance of rain. Going into the evening, we'll be looking at a low of around 30 with a chance of drizzles.
That's your latest update from Daily Iowan TV. You can tune in tomorrow at the same time or check us out online at dailyiowan.com.
Thanks for watching and have a great day.